Elon Musk tells Apple and Google, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. So good, guys. Hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech kind of day. We're going to be talking about Elon and the possible phone that he's going to be creating to go into direct competition with the Android, the Apple phone. It is their Tesla Pi phone, let's call it. No one knows the actual name, but he did say a couple of days ago that one will be produced if certain companies piss him off. So, like I said before, you don't really want to make this guy angry because he has a lot of money. He's a nice guy, even-headed, but he does wield a big stick. He has a lot of power, right? And I don't mind that too much because I think there should be a balance going on in everything. I think everything needs to have balance. And today, I think a lot of things are out of balance, but that could be for another video. So what I did is I read a few articles on this. I always do this, right? I'll read articles from here and there and all over the place, and I'll give you the skinny or my take on it. And then, of course, at the end, I want to hear from you. What do you think? What is your take on it? I think the question that I want to ask you guys is, if Elon made a phone, would you purchase it? Okay. We'll get into this by the end of this video a little bit deeper. But before I get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. Also, it is Cyber Monday. Everything over at JCristina.com is on sale. Use promo code CM30 at checkout and you'll get 30% off everything in your shopping cart. Not one thing, everything. Once again, go over to JCristina.com, use promo code CM30. Cyber Monday, guys, Cyber Monday. So let's get into this. Now, a couple of the articles I read, number one was over at 9to5Mac, and I also read an article over on Engadget, and I read one over on Gizmodo, a couple of different places. And I want to share a few of these with you. And something I want to point out to you is whenever you read articles from any media source, remember the source in which it's coming from. And when I read a few of these little excerpts to you, I think you'll be able to hear or feel or smell a bias, right? That's just the way everything is. And that's why I like to get information from all different sources and then boil it down for myself. And then I give you my thoughts on it and my commentary. And once again, I want to hear your commentary. So let's take a look at 9to5Mac. They start out by saying Musk has made some controversial changes since his deal to purchase Twitter went through, leading some advertisers to see the platform as a high-risk place to promote. Most recently, he shared his plans to conduct a mass amnesty for suspended accounts following the results of a Twitter poll. He conducted a similar poll of his followers before confirming that the platform will reinstate former President Donald Trump. It's possible Musk's free speech absolutist stance could lead Twitter to violate the respective app marketplace guidelines. This chaotic strategy for running the platform has led some to question whether Apple or Google would boot Twitter from the respective app marketplaces. There is no sign that the mobile giants have actually considered making this move, but that didn't stop Elon from responding to a tweet and stated that if there was no other choice, he would make his own phone. This also isn't the first time that he has spoken negatively about the companies, having previously complained about their high fees. A Tesla Pi phone has long been a vague, unsubstantiated rumor, but it seemed Musk's acquisition of Twitter may be the thing to finally push the founder over the edge and lead him to creating a mobile device. Very interesting. So you get the idea of what's going on here or how they are coming across in this article. They also talk about how Elon Musk really doesn't need to make a phone. He could also make like an APK of his software and be able to download it to like an Android phone and not have to go through the marketplace, even though it's a little bit more convoluted, but he could do it that way. With an iPhone, of course, it's going to be a little bit harder because it would have to be jailbroken and whatnot. But Elon could make an app specifically written for a browser. And at that point, that browser window could be opened into his application from any browser. It doesn't matter where and from which phone. The companies really can't stop it. Technically, they could, but that gets down into another rabbit hole, which we don't want to go into. But now let's take a look at how Gizmodo decides to report on this. Now, their title, their headline says, Elon says he'll make his own phone if Apple and Google deplatform Twitter. Now, this is how they go about talking about it. Twitter's new ruler, Elon Musk, we can see where this is going already. Twitter's new ruler, Elon Musk, makes so many pronouncements on the platform, it's hard to keep track. This week alone, Musk polled Twitter users over whether he should provide general amnesty to suspended accounts and got into a public fight over whether the disgraced founder of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, owns a part of Twitter. On Friday, Musk was at it again, telling people that he may make an alternative phone to face off against Apple and Google. The tech billionaire's comments were made naturally in response to a tweet directed at him by a conservative podcaster and former OANN host, Liz Wheeler. On Friday afternoon, Wheeler tweeted that Musk should make his own phone if Apple and Google decided to kick Twitter off their app stores. They also quote exactly what Wheeler said here. It says, if Apple and Google boot Twitter from their app store, Elon Musk should produce his own smartphone. Half the country would happily ditch the biased, snooping iPhone and Android, Wheeler said on Friday. Quote, the man builds rockets to Mars. A silly little smartphone should be easy, right? So you can see the actual back and forth here. Now, 3 hours later, Musk told Wheeler that he would build his own phone if Twitter got banned from Apple and Google's App Store, the official gateway to iPhone and Android's device across the globe. In what might have been a homage to Musk, who loves polling people on Twitter, Wheeler started a poll of her own asking people if they would use a Tell Elon phone. Let's call it the Tesla Pi phone. And what was really amazing here is what she found was 56% of the people said that they would. Now, I just looked it up before doing this video, and it was right around 52 to 53% of the people said, yes, we would go with an Elon phone. Doesn't matter what it's called, a Tesla phone, a Pi phone, whatever you want to call it, right? We would go with one of those phones in comparison to an Android phone or an Apple phone. That is very interesting information. That is not a small percentage. And when I looked it up, there was about 131,000 people that were polled. So it's a substantial amount of people. Now, Gizmodo's article finalizes with this. Both Apple and Google have policies that ban apps in their stores from containing hate or discriminatory speech, bullying, harassment, and sexually explicit content. In the aftermath of January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, Apple and Google kicked Parler off of their app stores for its role in helping rioters plan the event, although it was allowed back after making changes. Kanye West, who legally changed his name to Ye, whatever, is reportedly in talks to buy Parler. While Musk has declared his intention to build a phone should Apple and Google cross him, it's important to remember that the man says a lot of things that don't end up happening. Remember the Tesla Semi, which is 3 years past deadline, or the Cybertruck, which turns out not to be bulletproof in a live demonstration. Heck, the only reason he owns Twitter is because he couldn't figure out a way to get out of the deal. So, you see how things start twisting, right? You see how there's stuff added in there and little expositories and little associations with different things that are very biased. And it just shows how different news venues, let's say, report on things and how their bias come into the news and how they create these articles or how they create the media behind them. It doesn't matter if it's video, if it's audio in a podcast, or if it's written word here online. So that's why I like to listen to everyone and then decide for myself. So the way I look at this is that if 52% of the people out there are interested in purchasing a Tesla phone, a Pi phone, or whatever, that is a massive number of people. This isn't a small amount. That is a lot of people. Just think about the general numbers of how many people are buying Android and iPhones, and now just cut that number in half and take that half and just give it straight over to Elon. That is a big, big opportunity for this man, in my personal opinion. You know, I personally believe that 100% general amnesty, as Elon calls it, is just not right. I don't think it's a good way to go about it because I personally think there are folks that should be banned from Twitter. I mean, if you are producing or uploading or sharing explicit content, graphic photos, hate speech, stuff that is just vile, really demonic type things, right? Just evil type of people, they really should be banned. So I'm not a proponent of a general amnesty, but I do feel that it's very difficult to decide and to discern what was real and what wasn't at the time. We got to remember that a lot of folks were banned from Twitter back then, before the new ruler, as Gizmodo calls Elon Musk, took over the company. These people were banned just because they would not be in lock and step with the ideology or the narrative of the organization and just mindlessly adhere to the biased mantra associated with that organization at the time. And that is also a problem. So once again, how do you discern what is real and what is Memorex, right? What is real and what is fake? Deep fake, maybe. That's for another video. So it's very difficult, but I do think that Elon Musk should create a phone. And if he did, and if 52% of the people out there would buy it in comparison to buying an iPhone or an Android phone, if he was able to make it good enough, I think it would be massive. This would not only affect the duopoly of Apple and Google, but it would also affect the likes of AT&T and Verizon and some of these other big players that are making just an ass load of money on us for services that even what Elon has said is just extremely expensive for nothing, for very little of what is being provided. So we know that Elon can do it, and we know he can do it cheaper. What we also know is that Elon Musk is now in bed with T-Mobile. T-Mobile is pretty massive worldwide, not just US, but worldwide. And since this is the case, a Tesla phone or a Pi phone would not only be able to communicate with satellites using the Starlink network, but also through T-Mobile's network. So I think that there is something to be said about all this. And I would like to see Google or Apple or both just shun completely Twitter and piss off the giant. Like I said at the beginning of this video, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And I really do believe that is the case when it comes to Elon Musk. He seems to be a generally nice guy, pretty even-keeled, very, very brilliant, right? But he does have a very large hammer that he wields. And even though there is large companies out there, he is still very large and he can make a dent in these companies. And once again, 52%. Let's call it 50. Let's make it a 50-50. If 50% of the phones went to Elon and now 25% to Google, let's say, or Android, and 25% to Apple, that would be massive, massive. So anyways, what do you think about all of this? I want to know your thoughts. And like I said at the very beginning, if you were able to buy a Tesla phone, a Pi phone, would you buy one? I would like to know. I'm not going to run a poll because obviously we've seen these polls be done already. I'm not going to do that. It's not necessary. But in the comment area below this video, put your thoughts. Would you buy one, number one? And also, what do you think about what is going on between Google and Apple and Elon Musk? What do you think about that? And then finally, I want to know your thoughts about the bias that we read, that we hear, that we see. How does it affect people? And are there people, hopefully like me, that have a middle ground thought process and then try to use all of the information that we gather and then discern it or distill it into something that's a little bit more middle ground? I hope there are. I fear that there's a lot of lemmings out there that literally just toe the line or walk lock and step with these giants and just are mesmerized by what they say and what they show. Because that is really what I feel has been going on lately with everything. I think a lot of it has become so polarized that the middle ground that we used to see is just no longer there or very hard to find. Anyways, what are your thoughts? If you enjoyed this content, you want more Starlink content, for example, I have a Starlink playlist all about Elon Musk and Starlink and this internet service, how it's good, bad, indifferent. I give you a lot of helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, commentary, what to buy, what not to buy, why, which is even more important, the why of things. That's what this channel is all about, the why. If you enjoyed this, please throw this video a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so and click this little button over here so when I go live and when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. And don't forget to use promo code CM30. Once again, CM30, get 30% off everything over at JCristina.com. That's it, everyone. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.